Kenneth Kiza Bikundi are my names, presenting to you findings on a project with the theme Preparing for Influenza Season in the USA, a database strategy in health staff allocation. My presentation is based on four main aspects. Why I make this analysis: the age and mortality risk, graphic or geographic flu death or geographical areas in the US where flu death has been rampant, year of flu peak or the year when flu was at its peak, and then finally we shall look at the recommendations. Why do we make the analysis? It's because over the years flu has caused a very unpredictable strain on US healthcare systems. This graph shows flu death of 65 people 65 years and above, giving a percentage death of 29 and 27 respectively as the highest and the lowest across the years since 2009 up to 2017. And these are the years within which I used as my years. And the data that I used was the population for all residents of US states, and I got it from the US Population Bureau. And then another data that I used was from the CDC, that is Center for Disease Control, and it was mainly on the flu death registered in all the health centers in the US. So this graph here basically gives us the lowest and the highest as the percentage death. Highest was in 2011, 2013, 2015. Lowest was in 2016. That is just an overview. The second slide is giving us a proportional representative or a positive correlation between the scatter graph and the bar graph. This is a scatter graph with a bar graph on this side. So these two show us, this one shows us the highest states with the highest death, starting with California and New York, as we move downwards up to Alaska, which this graph also shows us the same by these round bubbles of the different colors. These are the different states, and the highest has been California. This scatter graph also explains the same, just as it is with the bar graph, the horizontal bar graph. That is, in agreement, it shows a positive correlation. That is the right, that's how the statistics say. Moving on to the states with the highest death rates, we have in the box chart, we have the geomap here. The geomap has 14, those people aged 14 years and below, and then those people aged 65 years and above. The circles we are seeing are for 14 years and below, and then the colors in green and yellow are showing states with the death rates of those above 65 years of age. Here is the key that we have for the states, and this one is the key that we have for the states considering the age of those below 14 years, and this one is 65 years. The key says the darker the color, the higher the numbers, or the higher the intensity. The same applies to this. The darker the color, the higher the numbers of death. Now, this is for 14, below for 14 years, and this is for those above 65 years. As we can see, these states in the US that are most highly affected, these states here. We are having California here, we are having Texas here, we are having New York here, this is Pennsylvania, and then this one is Montana as the least affected in terms of those 65 years and above. These ones below 14, we have this. Washington is here, highly affected. Wyoming, we have Vermont, we have Maine, we have Virginia, and so many others. Similarly, when we come here, for those below 14 years, we see, for those above 65 years of age, we see California as the highest, followed by New York, Texas, in that order, until when we move to the list. The list here for those 65 years is Alaska. Alaska is a state with 2.5% for those who have, for the death of 65 years and above of age. That one pushes us to another slide, which shows us which year was influenza very highest. From our data, we see that over the years from 2009 2016, the flu death, the total flu death has been increasing. Here we had, that is for those who are 65 years and above, we had 3,976,000. Here we have 4,021,000. Those are estimates. We have 4,185,000. In 2013, we have 4,443,000. In 2014, we have 4,622,000. This is 2015, 4,826,000. You can see the numbers increasing. This is 5 million onwards. The more the years, the more they increase. So we see the trend. It is an increasing trend. Then, given that quick overview, here is our summary. Our summary says, oral insight, that people aged 65 years and above are more vulnerable, as well as those aged 14 years and below. But those aged 65 years and above are more vulnerable. The high risk region, or the region which is at high risk, is the southeast region, as we can see from our map here. The southeast region is the most highly affected. And then next, we see a continuous increase in death rates annually. We see states with high elderly populations are most affected. We also see or realize that flu seasons don't change from year to year. They are there from fall up to around December, when influenza is at its peak. With those observations, I came up with some recommendations, and these are the recommendations. Deploying healthcare staff according to the population size, particularly considering the elderly and the young. Pre-deploying staff ahead of the forecasted surge of the peak, so we can talk of October, before we go to November and December. Deploy staff. Then in the deployment of staff, there is need to prioritize the southeastern states which are consistently vulnerable. It's the high time that they are considered, or they are given priority first in staffing, and then creating a reserve healthcare staff that is ready for any deployment at any time in any state which may get an oversurge of flu patients, which is slightly more than what was expected. So with these recommendations, this is all I had for this presentation. Thank you for listening to me. Additions are welcome. Questions are also welcome. Thank you very much.